If you haven't heard, tariffs are a major problem right now. A lot of merchants, a lot of businesses have reached out to us recently, really concerned about how tariffs are going to impact their business. And if you've been in business for decades, there's a lot of information I'm about to share that may be second nature to you, but there's a lot of organizations who are facing this kind of change for the very first time, and a lot of businesses aren't really sure what to do. So I thought I would share a couple tips with you, and then I actually want to show you how I would handle some of these things inside of Cin7. So the first thing is you really have to start tracking the tariffs on an item level or a supplier level or both, really. And what I mean by that is on each one of your products, you want to record the HS code that's associated with that product. HS, it stands for harmonized system. Really what that means is that every product that's sold, it has a universal global standard number associated with it, and it's the number that's used for tracking what kind of good is being moved from one nation to the other, right? And depending on which HS code your product is, there are different levels of the tariffs that are going to be applied to that good. So actually, take a look inside of Cin7. If we go into our inventory, I'm just going to pull up all my products here, and then let's drill into a specific product. Okay, so I drill into one of these products, just grab one. Notice that I have an HS code field. This is where you can actually record the HS code for this specific product. There's also tools that are available by partners that we have like Avalara, and there's some others that will do this for you automatically. But if you have a small list of SKUs, you can actually apply these HS codes pretty quickly. The other thing that's really important is tracking the country of origin that these items are coming from. Again, depending on where the products are coming from, it's going to impact what kind of level tariff you're going to have to pay. One of the things that you could do here is inside Cin7, we have additional attributes. These additional attributes, I should show you, they're set up inside the settings reference books right here under additional attributes. So you can add different lists of attributes. Notice that in this case, I've added a country of origin, and I've also added a field for tariff, which is a numeric field. You can enter the actual number. Both of these are available inside of the additional attributes field itself. So I'm looking at a product. I can enter the country of origin. If you're only buying this product from a specific supplier, you could enter it here. You can also enter the tariff amount. But also, whenever I am purchasing goods, I can actually go into the specific supplier and notice that I have an attribute set here. I can enable that attribute set. It'll expose the same information, and then I can go into additional attributes, and I can add tariff information and country of origin on this particular supplier. Obviously, you have your supplier's information, their address, and so on, but these are extra fields that you can use inside of Cin7 to add custom information that's unique to you. The reason you want to track this information is because you want to understand your true landed costs. Okay, so every time you buy a product, there's more costs associated with buying that product than simply how much the product costs. And inside of Cin7, you can track all of those different costs, and that'll help you get to true, accurate landed costs rather than focusing on your average costs. A lot of small businesses, they focus on average costs associated with their inventory. But one thing that businesses do as they mature is they shift over to actual costs, and it gives you much more accurate information. If you want to learn more about the landed costs, if you go to our help center, it's just help.core.cin7.com. Just do a quick search for landed costs. You'll find a handful of articles that will introduce you to things you can do inside Cin7 to help you get to the most accurate landed costs that you can. Another thing that you want to start thinking about is diversifying your suppliers. So if there's a set of goods that are really important to your customers and your business, you may be buying from one supplier today, but it's a really good idea, tariffs aside, it's a really good idea to have multiple suppliers, especially if you can get them in different regions of the world. To having those multiple suppliers will put you in a better situation in the future, um, to avoid these kinds of challenges. But it also comes in handy, for all you know, there could be some global event that takes place and it impacts a supplier's ability to get goods to you in the time that you need. If you have a backup supplier in a different region, you have those backup options. It's definitely something that I would recommend. One of the toughest things that merchants deal with is demand planning and inventory forecasting because, I mean, number one, it's like the biggest bet of the year that you're making on inventory. And most merchants are, when they know that they have a really popular item, they don't ever want to run out of stock. So they end up buying far more than what they actually need. The problem is all of your cash flow gets tied up in that inventory, and if you have a lot of overstock, that means that your cash is just sitting on the shelves in the warehouse. One of the features that Cin7 offers is our Foresight AI feature. Well, this is an AI based forecasting and demand planning tool. It looks at the history of your sales orders over, however long you have sales orders. Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 5 years, and it um, picks up on the trends, the seasonality, and it helps you predict what your inventory needs are going to be in the future. And it does this by taking all of your historic data and pushing that information through many algorithms that are based on scientific papers that have been written about inventory forecasting over the last 50 years. So it's pushing this information through all these different algorithms, and then it's giving you the average of those results. Um, and of course, you can make adjustments and fine tune the system for your specific business and your growth plans and so on. But what we found is that customers who begin using Foresight AI, they see within the first couple months, they see a 30% reduction on average. They see a 30% reduction in their overstock on their inventory. Now, in an environment like we're in right now, the last thing you want to be doing is spending money on goods that are just going to sit on your shelves. So anytime, inventory forecasting is a really important area of your business. I would say right now, with the uncertainty that we're under, this is a time where it's really going to be critical. Number one, we have a handful of features inside Cin7 today that can help you navigate these waters, like I showed before. Um, but the other thing I'll mention is that we've been interviewing customers, we've been talking to partners. I think we've talked to about 15 or 20 customers so far, just gathering feedback about what kinds of reports would you like to see, or what kinds of fields would you like to see in the system, or what could we do to make this easier for you? And the team's generating ideas based on this feedback. Right now, we have a list of 17 different brainstorming um, ideas that have been presented to us or that we've come up with on our own. So, we're working right now to try to get some of those features into the system to help our customers navigate this challenging time. My hope is that this turns out to be a big nothing burger, um, but we don't know. It's hard to tell right now. And, with the right solutions, the right system, when you're armed with the right data, hopefully you can be one of the businesses that get through this without any bruises.